All right, we're back in the garage today to talk more budget-friendly equipment, and today we're taking a look at the Yesoul T3S Plus treadmill, which comes in right now on a Black Friday sale of right around $700 delivered to your door. Has some pretty unique features, and again, budget-friendly, being that most treadmills you'll find in commercial gyms cost several $1,000s. So we're gonna talk about how it stacks up today. Now, if you've been watching my videos for any length of time, you'll know currently in my basement gym, I have an assault runner, which is fairly expensive at around $4,000. And even though it's great for those that are diehard runners, I am not one of those people. In fact, I've stated before, I usually prefer a motorized treadmill, simply being because of the way that I use these things is to just get in some steps, watch TV, and I really like to have a steady state, being able to set it and forget it, and not have to worry about actively running. Now, if I had visions of grandeur and I thought I was going to be a sprinter at the end of the day, then yes, maybe the curved motorless treadmill might be better for true running. But for me and for most people, what I end up finding happening is people just like to watch and walk while they do their cardio. Now, that's not saying this thing is a slouch by any means. It has a 3 horsepower motor, which means it can get up to just about 9 miles per hour. And for me, I find like a very brisk, intense walk is around 4 miles per hour. So that's plenty of speed for my use case. It also can support up to a 300-pound load. So I'm well beneath that at 210-ish pounds as of the time of this video. So it's going to be great for most people who are looking to just get some basic cardio in at their own home at a good price. Another really nice thing about this is it does have an incline feature, so it goes up to a 10-degree incline. So if you want to make whatever you're doing harder as is, you can do so by simply upping it anywhere from 0 to 10% and get a little bit more work in as you go. So this being the Plus model of the treadmill, it comes with a 21.5-inch HD display as well as secondary speaker that connects to it and is powered through the monitor, which is then powered through the unit itself, which I like a lot for a couple of reasons. Number one, the integration into the treadmill works really well, which I'll talk about in a second. The audio itself is also very good. Typically with most monitors, you have built-in speakers, which are very low sounding and very tinny. This one being pretty solid for what it is on a budget-friendly version. Now, if you don't want the actual display, there are other models of the T3S, which would take this away. You would end up saving a couple $100 in that case. You would then just use a phone or tablet or maybe watch something on TV, and you would get some built-in metrics on a display that is part of the actual handle setup. Now, for me, on a treadmill, I do like having a built-in display because my eyes can look straight forward. I don't have to look anywhere else. I can just kind of focus on what I'm doing, or in most cases, forget about what else I'm doing and just watch TV and walk in a straight line, and I won't fear tripping or keeping up with my cadence as I would with the motorless treadmill that I have in the basement. Now, obviously, however, being an HD display, the current metrics as is aren't very wowing to most people. You just see the basics of how fast you're going, the incline, how far you've gone, and how many calories you've burned. But the real benefit of having this is Yesoul provides a couple of connection cables so that you then connect your phone or tablet and directly cast and mirror whatever you're watching on that onto this, and it'll also include a built-in overlay of all your metrics that you're doing. So if I want to watch YouTube, if I want to watch Netflix, I can do so very easily. The only caveat is you have to download the Yesoul app, which will then allow you to connect that, but that is free. You can also opt to pay for a membership through Yesoul, in which case you can also use some classes through their app that'll then display here and, of course, walk you through or run you through what you would need to do. Now, this is one of my favorite features in the actual treadmill itself, being that I've really considered buying a Peloton tread in the past because you guys know I love my Peloton bike. The issue is those things are super expensive and I already have a very expensive treadmill. With this, using the Peloton app on my phone, which I already pay for, I can cast that onto this screen and I have the metrics for the Peloton, what it's telling me to do, and the metrics from the Yesoul treadmill embedded on the screen, so it's very easily to make sure that I am on pace or on track for whatever program I'm running. And this can be used for more than just treadmill because this screen can fully swivel out. So if you want to do yoga classes, strength training, stretching, whatever else, you can do so and still use this as a secondary monitor for your other training, or again, use the speaker through Bluetooth to blast your favorite tunes. All right, let's take a look at the deck or the handlebar setup of the T3S Plus. You have a flat portion here with some rounded edges to keep anything from falling off. I will typically have my phone here when I'm connected to the monitor to stream stuff. You have a cup holder, which is large enough for most water bottles and or tumblers. And then just a few buttons on the front, which I think is a good thing, right? We don't want to overcomplicate something that is pretty simple to begin with. You have a button here for up or down on incline, so to increase the incline up to 10%. On the right-hand side, you have some quick adjustments for speed, 4 and then an 8. And in the middle, you have the center power button. You would press this once down to turn the treadmill on, and then you can adjust your speed more precisely by turning left or right. You can also see from this shot you have easy access to the monitor button here. This is actually to turn on the speaker and adjust the volume. You also do have a safety stop here. This key has to be inserted for the treadmill to power on. If you were concerned about your safety, you could just untwirl this string, connect it to you, and if you were ever to fall off the treadmill, this would then shut the treadmill off as an automatic safety stop. Another benefit of this treadmill overall is its fairly compact design, and it does say that you can fold this up. So what you'll notice is it's very easy to bend down, lift up the tread, it'll then lock in place. This can now be stored away a little bit more easily. There are wheels on the bottom too, so simply just tilting this back and putting it on the wheels lets you easily maneuver this around. So if you want to tuck it away and not let people know you're doing cardio, you can easily do that. To put this back down, there's simply just a kick release, and this will be a nice and controlled drop, so you don't have to worry about causing a lot of noise or damage to your floors or the treadmill itself. Controlled drop. There we go. All right, so for like $700 all in, the Yesoul T3S Plus got a lot of use here in the garage, and I actually enjoyed my time with it. But there are some things to be aware of if you're planning on buying it, as budget-friendly options typically do have some trade-offs. So number one, the screen itself, while I like it, especially the integration with the Peloton, you could save yourself a couple of $100s if you get one of the models without it, which again, Yesoul will sell, but you'll probably get like it down to $500 or so. So if you're looking for a really nice budget option, that might be something to consider. Also the fact I am not an avid runner, as I've admitted several times during this video. Putting this 3 horsepower motor up to its max of 8.7 miles per hour, I was able to somewhat comfortably keep that pace and cadence despite not having ran in years outside of the making of this video. So if you're an avid runner or really want to work on your speed, just know that you'll be capped at 8.7 miles per hour. Also, I have seen some other treadmills go a little bit higher on the incline, like 11 or 12%. I don't think the big trade-off here is 10%, but again, just something to take note if you're comparing other models out there. Now, speaking of actually running and walking on this, what I found is the sweet spot for the motor tends to be in the middle range of the speed options. Going on the lower end or like under 3 miles per hour or over 7 miles per hour, it was not as smooth at first. I think it definitely got there over time, but you might be able to see just a little bit of hiccups in some of my cadence and rhythm. That could also just be me, but it definitely felt like it was a little off in that regard. Speaking of walking or running on this, one of the pros of this unit, again, is how compact it is overall. That could also be considered a con, because when I was running on this, the tread is fairly short for someone of my height at 6'3", and I could not do as long of a stride as I would have ideally wanted to. So I had to be cognizant of where my feet were because I did not want to fall off this, and you can tell based off of the videos that I was very much near the end. Now, a big pro of being compact is, again, it's not taking up a lot of space. They do advertise and market that this is a foldable treadmill to save even more. And while it is true, as you saw in the video clips, you're really not saving that much space overall compared to some of the competition, which will fold away a lot more easily. So again, yes, you will save some space, but I don't really think that's a big pro. I would probably just leave this out as is because you're only really saving, minimal inches on that fact. But overall, for the price, for the use case, I do think it's something worth considering if you're in the market for a treadmill. The true question, however, though, is what do you think about it? Leave those thoughts in the comment section below. In the meantime, as always, thanks for watching and stay big.